Alright, so for our second video, we just did volume of triangular prisms. We're going to do surface area. Surface area is a lot more complex than the volume one. We're going to go through it slowly. We're going to do the first one all together. We're going to do the second one kind of together, and you guys are going to do the third one on your own. Realistically, you're going to follow this formula. It is not a very easy formula to use. It's really just taking the net of this shape. If I was to draw the net of this shape, I'm going to show you guys what it would look like. There is 3 triangles, or rectangles, 1, 2, 3. And then there would be 2 triangles. Okay, so that is what the net would look like if I was to draw the net of the shape. You don't have to draw the net if we can use the formula, but we're going to have to understand the formula. Now, the main part is these triangles, you have to be able to label all the dimensions. So I know the height of the triangle is 4. If that's 4, this is also 4. Okay, I know that the base of the triangle is 6. That means that this is 6. If that's 6, so is that. Okay. Then if I look, okay, this, then it's going to go to 5. And then on the other side, it also goes to 5. And the length is always going to be 8. So you're really finding the area of each rectangle and each triangle. That's what the net would do. We can also use the formula, which we're going to go over right now together. So the formula is up here. It's very long. There's a lot going on in it. We have to understand the different parts. The main thing is that we need to understand where we plug things in. Once everything's plugged in, it's very simple, but knowing what we plug in. So I'm going to rewrite the formula. Surface area equals 2 times 1/2 the base times the height plus 1 length times width plus a different length times width plus a different length times width. This is rectangle 1, rectangle 2, and rectangle 3. These are not always the same, and these are your triangles. And there's 2 that are exactly the same. That's why you can just multiply by 2. These are not always the same. They sometimes may be. These 3 rectangles, we're going to see that this one is not the same. 2 of them will be. So you're always going to start at the front. You have 2. We need to find the triangle. We need to know the base of the triangle is this base, which would be 6 times the height of the triangle. Is how high does it go? Not the slant height, the regular height. So if I look at my triangle, my height is 4. Okay, I've just done the triangles now. Now I need to do my rectangles. Now, the one thing that will be the same on all your rectangles is your width is always the same. No matter what, it's going to go back 8. If that's back 8, so is this is 8, and so is this dashed line back here. It's always going to be the same width. The length is what's going to change. Your length are your 3 sides of your triangle. So if I start at my first one, if I start at my first one, I'm going to take my length, I'm going to take any of these 3 sides of my triangle, not my height, the 3 sides. So if I want to start at the bottom, I want to use my 6 times my width, which is 8. Okay, I did 6, now I'm going to go up. My next one, my length is 5. My width is still 8. Okay, so I've done this, I've done my 6, I've done my first 5. Coming down, it's my other 5 times 8. Once you plug it in, then it's really just solving it, okay? It might help to solve in parts. You can use a calculator if you want. So I would start with my triangle maybe. 1/2 times 6 times 4 would be 12, so it would be 2 times 12 plus 6 times 8, you would get 48, plus 5 times 8, you would get 40, plus 5 times 8, you would still get 40, And then I would simplify it even more. 2 times 12 would be 24, plus 48, plus 40, plus 40, and then you're going to add them all together. 24 plus 48 plus 40 plus 40, and you would get 152 centimeters. It is flat because it's surface area, so it would be squared. So the main thing is knowing how to plug it in. The hardest parts are the lengths, making sure you're using the outside of your triangles. Alright, we are going to do number 2. We're going to kind of talk about it, and then you guys are going to plug it in, pause the video, and then we're going to go over number 2 together. Alright, for number 2, you are going to use the same formula. So it is so helpful to start by writing the formula with just letters, no numbers. So I'm going to write it over to the side. Surface area equals 2, because there's 2 triangles, times the area of the triangle, 1/2, base, times height, plus rectangle 1, which is length, times width, plus rectangle 2, which is length, times width, plus rectangle 3, which is length, times width. Okay, I want you guys to take a second, and all you're going to do is plug in what you know. So pause this video, plug in what you know, use a pencil. Remember, the width doesn't change, it's always the same. Hopefully you have plugged it in. If you haven't, make sure you actually pause this, take a second, try it on your own. That's the best way to learn, is to try it on your own and see if you got it right. You learn from your mistakes. Okay, so when you plugged it in, you should have had 2 stays, 1/2 stays. The base of your triangle is 4. Your height of your triangle is 6. So that's the first part. That's the triangle. This 7 over here, you don't need to worry about. Now, if I look at my next one, my length times my width, I'm going to go my first part of my triangle right here. Okay, that's 4. My width is always going to be 12. My next side is 7. It's always going to be 12. And I didn't put this one in. I'll put one in. Sorry. You can assume it's the same. It would be 7 on the side times my width of 12. Hopefully you guys got that right. Take a second, pause this video, and solve it. And then once you have it ready, unpause it, because I'm going to keep going, but I want you guys to actually solve it on your own. Hopefully you have solved it by now. When you solve this, you would have 2 times, that's the exact same as before. Half of 4 is 2, times 6 is 12, plus, you would do 4 times 12, you get 48, plus 7 times 12, you would get 84. Yes, 84. And you do another 7 times 12, which would also be 84. Then here, simplify 2 times 12, you would get 24, plus 48, plus 84, plus 84. When you get to this point, sometimes I pull out a calculator. Sometimes you can line it up and add if you really want to. That's perfectly fine. I'll use a calculator so that I don't waste all your guys' time. 24 plus 48 plus 84 plus 84 is going to be 240. We need to label it. Our label is meters squared. Because it is flat, it is surface area of it. Okay. It's not always going to be that these two are the same. They just happen to be. I forgot to write that one in because I made this one myself. If you couldn't tell. What you guys are going to do is you're going to try number 3. As you can see, they kind of get messy. Make sure you're circling your answers. For number 3, the only difference is that you're still going to find your area of your triangle first. But when you plug it in, the length times the width, these are your lengths, 5, 6, and 4, and your width will always be 3. Okay? I want you guys to try this one. When we come to Zoom next week, we are going to go over this one together. So to make sure that you have it, make sure that you are showing your work like we're doing. It's a little bit of work, but on all the surface area ones, you never have too many problems. This method is way easier than drawing it out, because when you draw it, sometimes you label it the drawing wrong. You're still doing the exact same steps, even if you have a drawing or not. If you'd rather do the net, that's completely fine though as well. the videos I posted, they sometimes use nets, they sometimes use the formula. I'm showing you guys what I feel works best and what I feel like you guys would think works best just from working with you guys for the year. I hope that's helpful. If you still have questions on this, please let me know, okay? You guys can hop on this Friday if you have questions, or send me an email and I am more than happy to answer for you. Have a great week, and I will see you guys on Zoom next week.